It's me, Isaac.
Okay, it's me, Casey.
And there's a bit of a show sweeping the nation right now. It's sweeping all the nations actually.
Yeah, every single nation.
It's the Octopus's Octopus Gambit or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I never seen it. Don't care about it, and so I'm just gonna presume that I can make a game based off of it. So,
Gotcha.
are you familiar with the rules of Blackjack, Casey?
A little bit.
Okay.
You might have to refresh
So
me.
in this Squid... I'm going to drop the shit.
Okay.
In this Squid Game-like version of Blackjack, we will be playing for a sip of the other person's drink. Okay. I know you probably don't like my drink all that much, but I very much like Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I like
Do you like Coca-Cola Zero?
I love Coca-Cola Zero, yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, great. So there's some incentive to win.
Okay.
So I'm the dealer.
Okay.
And you are a player. So here's a face-down card.
Okay.
Here's my face-down card. I have one up. You have one up. So Casey has 7 showing, and I have 6 showing, and I'm the dealer. So in the event of me getting a blackjack, the house wins, and I get a sip of his drink.
Okay, I have my Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Casey, do you want to hit? You have a 7 showing.
Yeah, hit me.
Okay. Have you busted?
Hold on, I have to do quick maths.
Okay,
quick.
quick maths. Quick maths. He has a 7 and an 8 out.
I haven't.
He hasn't busted. My God, do you want another hit?
You
staying?
Yeah, I'll stay.
Okay,
for
so
right now.
with 15 showing, Casey's staying. So we're gonna both flip our cards over. I've got 11, and you have 17 exactly. That was a good time to stay, and I have to hit until I hit 17 or bust.
Okay.
So I got a blackjack exactly. The house wins with 21, and I'm taking a big fat sip of Casey's Coca-Cola.
Okay. He's real excited about that Coca-Cola.
That Coca-Cola. Let me tell you what. When I was a kid, they used to make Coca-Cola straight with Coke in it.
Only Coke.
Well, yeah, that was pretty high stakes.
Fun. We should just play blackjack for the entirety of the podcast.
For the entirety, I did think about offering you the role of dealer because it was kind of stacked against you.
I would have
the house always wins.
Yeah, true. I would have no idea. I've never formally played blackjack. Actually, that was probably my first time.
Oh,
actually, I played it in like Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah,
like, a game within a game and stuff like that. But yeah.
For my 21st birthday, I went to a casino, and like before I did that, I had been playing on a simulator all week because I knew I was going to go to a casino.
Right.
And blackjack is like one of those games that you have the most control of. You have a pretty good shot at winning. You still don't have like over a 50% chance of winning. Right. It's not quite that good, but I like, aside from counting cards, another technique you can use is to have like a spreadsheet of like when you should hit and when you should stay, and it's like generally agreed upon that if you have 17, stay. Like don't fuck with that like ever. But if the dealer like only has like a 2 or something, like a 3 showing, you should usually hit even if you're like pretty high up there, unless you're like 17 or over.
The goal is to hit 21, right?
The goal is to hit 21 or get as close to there as possible without busting. So often the dealer will bust because they have to hit like however many times until they get that 17 or over. Gotcha. And I actually won $40, which I was pretty impressed by, but I did waste it all on drinks because it was my 21st birthday.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I don't know. It's one of those games that I think I would play again if I went to a casino.
I have a I'm not going to dox this person, but let's say there's a person that I see regularly who told me a story about him and his brother went to a casino and were counting cards.
Oh.
And they won. He said they won night after night, like a shit ton. And
you don't go back night after night.
Yeah,
they'll
that was
get
the mistake.
Angry.
They went and they brought him to the back room and like actually pulled a gun on him and was like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, like actually like Scorsese gangster shit, and they were like, he's like, you need to take this money you got and get the fuck out and never come back or we will kill you. And they banned him from like, it was a whole chain. So like they owned all the casinos around that in that area in Oklahoma. He's banned from them.
That's fucking insane.
I know.
Right? Oh, holy shit. That guy is living in like a casino reality.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy. I was like, wow. I was like, what'd you do? He's like, well, I pissed my pants, but my brother was like, I don't know what you're talking about. His brother was just like shitting with him, and they're like, we know you're counting cards. Like, get the fuck out.
Apparently, like, a lot of celebrities have been kicked out for that. Like, Ben Affleck is, like, probably the most famous case. Like, he used to, like, count cards a lot. Really? I need to see that movie, Molly's Game, because apparently that's really about, good. Like, celebrity. Like, it's based on celebrities. And, like, one of the players was Tobey Maguire, who I would never...
Michael Cera was in the movie as well.
Oh, I think he was supposed to be...
Michael Cera. Like, he was... I think that's based on a real thing. Like, Michael Cera was actually counting... Or not counting cards, but he was playing underground poker.
Yeah.
And he was in the movie. I guess he was a good sport about it. I don't fucking know, but it's a good movie. I liked it a lot.
Okay, so we've had like a crazy poker tangent, but last week we had Thad on the podcast and he talked about The Sopranos. Right. So I actually picked it back up.
Oh, nice.
And without spoiling it, there is an episode that revolves around poker that's really good, and fucking Frank Sinatra Jr. is in it, and he's like, elbow to elbow with all these fictional mobsters. So I guess they like gave up entirely trying to pretend that the Sinatra family does not owe like all its success to like the mob.
Yeah.
But I thought that was so cool. It was really fucking Frank Sinatra Jr.
That is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Speaking of movies. You happen to see any stuff this last week?
I saw some stuff.
What'd you see?
Let me see my diary real quick.
Without getting into your big watches this week.
So I watched Do the Right Thing.
Ooh, I've been still wanting to see that. How was it?
I liked it a lot. It now that I watch it, In the Heights actually got a lot of inspiration from Do the Right Thing.
Really?
Like a metric fuck ton, yeah. It's
okay.
like the same fucking like thing.
Uh-oh.
But Do the Right Thing I think it's better. Do the Right Thing has got some really interesting...
as a movie or as a story in general?
As just a whole. It's got some really interesting cinematography. Spike Lee is arguably the worst part of it because he's in the movie and he's not a great actor.
I feel like that must have been just like a move.
Yeah.
That was like based on the fact that he didn't have like a lot of material or like actors to like, I don't know.
Possibly. I believe Do the Right Thing was only his second feature, if I'm not correct. The first one being the I've already forgotten the name of it.
The bullcrap one.
She's Gotta Have It. That's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
I think but yeah, I really enjoyed Do the Right Thing. Really sad though. And then I watched, I'll put these two together. I watched the documentary Blackfish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great old classic.
Fucking crazy.
Boycott
SeaWorld. And then I watched, right after that, My Octopus Teacher.
Oh, what a double feature.
What a double feature. Okay, but My Octopus Teacher actually not...
Excuse me.
You're good. I was waiting to see if it was
Holy
loud.
shit, that was loud.
My Octopus Teacher is actually, I was kind of thought it was hokey at first, but like the more you watch it, the more you understand that this guy actually is not putting on a show or a display. Like he actually cared about this little fucking octopus, and by the end of the movie, you do too. It's really heartwarming.
So it's not weird. It's not like a strange obsession.
No. He was honestly, it was just I don't know, like a learning experience for him. He wasn't fucking the octopus like some people have made it out to be.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, I finally finished the second Borat movie.
Oh, I do really enjoy that. Did you think it was a bit hammed up from the first one? What did you think?
I think it was crazier than the first one because I think he had more balls in this one than the first one. Like,
and the girl playing his daughter is incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Oh was it Mia Bakalova or Bakalova? Is that how you say it?
I think that's her last name.
She held her own with Sacha Baron Cohen really well. I watched The Empty Man.
Oh my gosh, you've been on like a bender
I'm
this week. I think I'm gonna watch that this month. You know, I'm trying to
should.
watch a lot of horror movies.
The Empty Man is a good Spooktober movie, I think, for anybody to watch. The ending is a little but the whole movie, you know, it's David Fincher's. I think he was a cinematographer for a while.
Really?
I think so. Either way, he worked with David Fincher, and you could tell he gets a lot of the camera techniques. It feels like very David Fincher, and like I noticed it within the first 20 minutes, and I'm like, the camera is moving exactly how Fincher moves the camera. And then I looked him up and I thought, oh, that's why he works closely with him.
I think this movie's also worth noting that like it released to very little fanfare on like streaming, and a YouTube reviewer, Chris Stuckman, popularized it. He like talked about how it was a hidden gem, and like that's really cool to see like a movie actually get like its due because of like a fucking film critic on YouTube being like, hey, people, go watch it. You know?
The studio had no faith in it whatsoever.
Yeah, that's such a damn shame to hear. I need to see it still, but I will.
One of the better horror movies I've seen of recent.
I saw one from Stuckman recommended it last year. It was like it was like the film crew is making a documentary about like this horror monster where if you blink, it gets closer.
Not like Doctor Who.
Like Doctor Who, but like it gets like cursed. The camera gets cursed, so every time they close the shutter, like it's actually been getting closer. So it starts very, very far away, and then it's like closer. It was really cool because
that's cool.
It's mockumentary style, so you can't actually tell. Like the documentary crew is investigating whether the footage is faked or not, and you don't know until the end if it is, and it's
that's
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's dope. I need to check that one out.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good. Only other thing I watched, I'll quickly talk about.
You watched so much.
I know, I did, and I just have something to say about these last two. Technically four, but I'm lumping three together. All right, so Watchmen. I finally finished Zack Snyder's Watchmen. I still haven't read it. It's right here. I know, but I actually have more reason to read it now that I finished Snyder's. And I think that Snyder's movie is an abomination to cinema as a whole. I fucking hated it. I could not understand why people love it. I think the sex scene with fucking Hallelujah
that's the worst.
That is the worst.
That's not anywhere in that novel, by the way.
It's very apparent that Snyder is more concerned with visual, display than trying to adapt any of the themes from what I've heard from Unseen and Watchmen, and it's so I just can't it's bad. It's just I don't want to gush on it, or I don't want to harp on it too much because I feel like everything's been said about it, but maybe in a better light than me though. I don't know, but I thought it was just. There's nothing to like about it. It's probably the most boring movie I've ever fucking watched, and it's 3 hours long. Has no right to be that long.
It's an anomaly because it's one of those extremely faithful. Like technically, everything you see on screen, except for like some of the stuff in the ending, happens. It's just like the way that events are adapted. Yeah. It's the fucking slow motion. It's the hyper violence. Like the graphic novel isn't as violent as the film. And also, just, like, the lack of subtlety in the themes or in the reveals. Like, I don't know if I want to, like, talk spoilers, but there's a character who is a surprise villain in Watchmen, the graphic novel. But the actor that Snyder has is hamming it up so goddamn much. And if you don't instantly think he's evil or up to some shit, like, it's like... Well, I don't know how. I don't know how you wouldn't think he's evil. But in the graphic novel, you're convinced. Like, it's like, well, I watched the movie first, but then when I read the graphic novel, I was like, oh, this works a lot better. Yeah. And I think that's something that I would tell to anyone who watches that movie. And even if you liked one part of it, like just one story beat, I promise you it's in the novel, it's better. And then the HBO Watchmen series is one of the most fantastic television shows like of the past like decade, maybe ever. I cannot say enough. Snyder does not represent our Watchmen. Right.
That seems to be the general consensus about it. But yeah, I'm excited to watch the HBO. I'm excited to read the graphic novel and then watch the HBO show because I feel like there is something there, but Zack Snyder doesn't give a fuck about it. So, and then I watched all 3 of the Fear Street movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the first one is a hot pile of dog shit.
Oh,
I
liked that one actually.
I saw that everybody liked that one and then hated 1978, and I'm like, 1978's the best fucking one.
Really?
I think so. I like the camp slasher way better than the stupid fucking.
Oh my gosh, Casey! I cannot disagree more. Like I feel like I feel like the first one, like obviously all of them are a bit. Except maybe the third one are a bit hokey about like their licensed songs,
Oh, God,
You've got like I feel like the second one is the most obnoxious because they've got like "Carry On My Wayward Son" like playing for no reason at all, and like in the first one she's like, I'm edgy, so I'm gonna listen to "Creep" by Radiohead, the number 1 most popular song in America for this time right
bad.
now. But like I like it. I like the first Fear Street. I think mainly I like it because there's one kill in it that I just cannot ever forget. And well, these movies have been out, and they've had their moment in the cultural side. Can we spoiler?
Spoiler the kill, not the character.
Okay, there's like a bread slicer.
Yeah.
And it's brutal.
It was pretty fun.
And that was a really fun effect. And I honestly just kind of enjoyed like how campy. Like, I don't think it was all intentional camp, but I liked how campy it was with, like, the characters and the one that, like, sings a song before she, like, kills people or whatever.
That's cool.
That was also kind of cringe, though. I don't know. It was a good mix of cringe and okay,
I don't know. I just could not have fun with the first one. I had way more fun with the second one. And I mean, I don't think any of the movies are great movies or honestly even good movies. I think they're mediocre at best, but I think the first one is such an abomination that it let like going forward through the series, I was like, fuck. I was like, and people have said this one was the best one. I'm like, I don't want to see this, but we ended up binging the rest of them. And the overall story is interesting, but I feel like it should have been left as a book series because it feels like that might be the best medium for it. Honestly, I think it's just because I like camp slashers. I like the Jason Voorhees like era.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the godless sinner teens that die right after having sex. It's so fun though.
There's not like godless like sinner teens in this movie. I mean, like they're kind of like. They're like, oh, one girl's like smoking pot and she's having sex. Like, I get like, oh, back in the 80s that was enough. But like, if you're paying homage to like camp slashers of the past, you got to do something new, and it really doesn't do all that much new. I think the thing that elevates the second movie for me is like the performances. Like Sadie Sink
carries it.
Yeah, she's carrying it on her shoulders. Like there's a reason like she's great in Stranger Things and they brought her over,
Yeah, for sure.
She's awesome. She fucking rules. And I do. Okay, actually no, this is the most annoying part about the second movie is that they can't help but like talk about where all the characters are going to end up in the first movie.
Yeah.
Obnoxiously, like that one cop rolls up and he's like, I can't wait for you to be my boss one day, Nikki. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Just get out. Stop insulting us. Like, we watched it like right before this one. So it's not that hard to remember where these characters are going to end up.
I just think the audience doesn't know any better. It's annoying. But I think that's all I watched. Yeah.
That's all you've watched?
Finished, I did the Fear Street binge last night.
Okay.
So, yeah. What about you? What have you seen?
I didn't watch much other than our main topic probably for today, but I did rewatch a great show with my girlfriend. It's How To with John Wilson. This is a show that's on HBO Max, and it's just really funny. Like I don't know how to describe it because no pitch is going to sound very good. It's a guy walking around New York and he records a bunch of fucking like random footage and he's always got like a topic at the center of an episode. I think I'd recommend like the third episode as the first one you watch because it's about the Mandela effect. So he's just like filming shit, and then he ends up talking to this guy who works in a grocery store who's talking about like the Bernstein Bears and the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm actually going to a convention for the Mandela effect. And then so he goes to this Mandela effect convention, and it's like fucking crazy. Like these people have like so many things that they believe that are different, and like the timeline changed.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's really cool to watch. It's always so funny. And it's only 6 episodes, and it's kind of like one of the most incredible, like emotional / funny pieces of television I've ever watched. And I don't know, give it a shot. How To with John Wilson. Anyway, speaking of really important television right now,
there's something going around.
Yeah, people are really loving Midnight Mass, man.
I know.
And we are here to give you the Midnight Mass deets.
Yes.
Is what I will say eventually.
Atheist, fuck off. Midnight Mass is not for you.
Midnight Mass. Oh, wait, I thought it was a Christian that wrote that article that was like, Midnight Mass betrayed me.
No, it was an atheist because he said horror is a genre that is normally a safe place for atheists and sinners, but Midnight Mass left me feeling something, and people are like, art owes you nothing. Fuck off.
No,
like,
that's such an entitled headline. Like, oh, Midnight Mass betrayed me. Like, what the fuck?
It's coming from Vox. Like,
it was an opinion piece from Vox. Like, any opinion piece from any like online thing is gonna be bullshit. Like, looking for clicks kind of deal. And it's got its clicks.
Its fucking clicks. That's an awful headline. Probably the worst one I've seen. Either way, let's talk about fucking Squid Game.
Yeah. Let's not beat around the bush.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna jump into spoilers here in a second, but for people who haven't seen the show, what would you say your spoiler-free thoughts on Squid Game are?
Really, really interesting take on the battle royale genre at this point.
Yeah.
Honestly, the fact that it's Korean, I fucking love. I love that a Korean show is getting this much international attention. It's like Parasite all over again.
And a lot of similar themes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's also the production design on this thing is top tier, bro.
I love the music.
I listen to the soundtrack. I'm not even sure they would copyright that.
No. That's why I didn't even say it.
The score is really great. All the what I said about the acting previously, after finishing the show, it doesn't bother me as much.
I would say the Korean actors all did really good.
Yeah.
There is a point where there are some Americans in the show, and it's not great.
It's not great, no. I feel like the show does kind of dip in its latter half.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that with spoilers.
I'll just say episodes 1 through 6, you're going to see what the hype is about.
Yeah.
Don't expect the show to stick the landing, though, and we'll get into the specifics of that, but, like, I wish I had known, like, that's something I wish someone had told me, maybe, is like, oh, the ending is kind of, like, iffy.
Yeah.
Because I did get really invested really quickly, and I had a lot of high hopes after. Like, the series reaches a high point, and you would expect it to keep running with that momentum, and then it's actually like, oh, this is the end of, like, the glory days for Squid Game.
Right.
Really fun concept. You'll get addicted really quickly, and you'll probably binge it real fast. Finish it, and come back here when you're done.
For sure.
Anyway,
it's worth it to finish it, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And I think this isn't spoilery, but I do think that we'll get more.
I do think.
So catch it this year.
Yeah.
And, jump in next year when everyone's talking about how season 2's dog shit or something. I feel like that's just like inevitable. No one's gonna be pleased.
Yeah.
With a season like this, I don't know. It's hard to follow it up.
It is.
I would say, sorry, before we get into spoilers, I would say that's the biggest problem with, like, battle royale genres is they never know where to go with either the ending or, like, where the sequel goes. Like, I always thought, like, Mockingjay was far worse than, like, Hunger Games and Catching Fire. And even Battle Royale has some pretty shitty sequels. Like, there's a second movie about them like trying to overthrow the government. It's not good.
Yeah.
It always goes back to that. Actually,
Yeah.
it's like it goes back to anarchy and overthrowing the government.
I mean, technically, wouldn't the Purge movies be considered like kind of in the battle royale?
Kind of
scope because
there
they
are some
also
rules.
overtake the government.
That's true.
I mean, yeah, it's everybody killing each other and there's rules. So
yeah, but it's not. I don't know. I feel like the element that really makes it a battle royale genre is if it's a game like this.
Yeah, true.
Because like there can be only one standing is like the twist, and in the Purge, you know, the rule is, after 12 hours, it has to fucking, like, stop.
Right,
Except for the new one, which, they're
the
like...
Forever Purge.
The Forever Purge.
Yeah.
Ooh, they're really mixing it up now.
Fucking hate that shit.
But, you want to jump into spoilers?
Yeah, let's jump into spoilers.
Okay. Yeah.
Spoilers, if you don't want to hear spoilers for Squid Game, skip to this timestamp in the podcast. 58 minutes and 40 seconds. It's pretty much the whole podcast, guys. I'm very sorry, but we do play Blackjack at the end. Let's go. Everybody fucking dies except for the main character.
Yeah, well, that's the truth. That's the truth. I would say, I don't know. It's going to be kind of jumping around for me. I feel like in this discussion.
I got a starter question for
what's
the
the starter?
Favorite character.
Favorite character?
Favorite character.
Oh my gosh. I really loved number 67. Buck. Crap, I can't. I'm so bad with names.
It's okay.
She was from North Korea. It was that girl.
Yeah.
She was great. I also really liked... This is heartbreaking.
Hold on.
I really loved Ollie.
Here, I'm going to the... Oh, Ollie, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to Letterboxd to see their actual name. So, main guy was number 456.
I didn't mind the protagonist. I will say that the side characters all kind of like outshined him.
Yeah. How do you say that? Is it Sae-byok?
Kang Se-byok.
King Sae-byok. I love her character.
Yeah, she's great, and I liked the girl that she teamed up with for Tug of War and Marbles, and I liked that whole storyline.
Yeah.
God, I think that's what I want to say is like the show really hit its peak in episode 6, and like I don't think I'll ever forget like the anger and the shock when like. They were like, okay, so you'll be playing against your partners.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah. I think I was watching with Donna and she called it. She's like, she's like, something's wrong. This is not going well. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of scared. And then they said it. She's like, I fucking knew it. She's like, it was too perfect. And I'm like, God, you're right. Like, what a fucking twist. Like, I will shake every writer's hand. Whoever came up with that shit, man. That was amazing.
And that was evil. Like right after, they wait until after the conversation of like the gangbu, and like the Americans get that concept really quick, and then you're just like, oh,
yeah.
I do like that. You know, it seems like the main character's on the path to redemption for a while, and then in that episode especially, he does some pretty twisted, manipulative shit. And so does Sang-woo.
I hate Sang-woo.
I will say that in that episode, Sang-woo's like little fuckery worked for me because I mean, even though it was heartbreaking and my boy Ali deserves so much better.
Yes.
I do think that after that episode, they really fucked up his character, but we'll get there. I feel like we need to focus on the first half first.
Yeah.
The second half later, but it's kind of hard because the second half branches into a lot of moments I liked in the first half.
For sure.
The old man's death was really, I mean, death in quotations, was probably the most heartbreaking to me.
Sad.
I was upset. I don't know. Like I had to take a break that night from Squid Game. I didn't watch anymore.
Oh god, we finished it that night. We had to. Yeah, we like fuck this, and we just binged the rest of the other 3 episodes.
I'm kind of glad I didn't because it made it. You know, it let me relish that time frame of the show versus what came, because I do think the dip starts in episode 7
for sure.
I like all of the games in the first half of the show, like they are simple and they are childhood games. I mean, Red Light, Green Light being the first one was brilliant.
I played that in school,
I obviously never played this like Korean inspired game where you have the needle and the sugar. Yeah, the honeycombs. But that was a cool one. That was dope. And honestly, that's what I liked about early Squid Game is that the game seemed fair.
Yeah.
And it was just like, unfortunately, the choices you make before you play the game can really be big. And like, I was fucking worried for our main character there. He's got the umbrella one. It's like, shit.
And Sang-woo was being a little shit even before then, because he fucking knew. He remembered it as soon as he saw the shapes. And he started to say something to him, but then he didn't. And that's when I knew. I was like, this motherfucker is gonna be evil.
I got some bad vibes from even like the first episode. Like, I don't know, it was something about his appearance that was just like, this guy has got like villain like kind of written on him a little bit. And I mean, even the old man, shit, it's so hard not to jump ahead. But like, I really liked in the second episode, especially, you know, they bring in the matter of like voting by majority, and they go home. And it's like, holy shit, is that easy? Okay. and but then they show, like, I think that's one of my favorite aspects of the show is like, the game is like a necessity. You know, there is choice, but they don't really have a choice on the matter, because in the real world, they're fucked. All of them are so fucked. I mean, some more than others, for sure. But, like, you know, they do a very good job illustrating, like, if there were a better option, they would have taken it out in the real world. Like, they recognize the flaws and the danger of it, but they don't really have too much to say in the matter. And, like, I do like that there are some seeds planted early on. Like, Sang-woo votes yes on continuing the game. You see a lot of characters like that.
Even the fucking annoying ass, hold on. What is her name?
Who do you think is annoying?
That fucking... Oh,
the older lady?
Yeah, 101. Well,
I like her.
Okay, she annoyed the fuck out of me, but our character did. She was the one begging to go home, and then they called a vote, and then she voted to stay.
Yeah.
That was so fucked. Like, I hated her from that moment on. When she started begging and then she voted yes, I was like, fuck you.
Well, I think you're supposed to not like her at first, you know, because she's manipulative. She
only redeems herself in episode, was it 7 or 8?
7.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, even then, I thought, I don't know, I didn't like how they handled that. But like, I like her character, and also I've heard a lot of the translation issues with the show come down to her. Like, she has a line like, oh, you know, I'm good at everything except the things that I'm bad at. Well, no, there's something specific in that episode, and what the actual line is like, I'm smart, but I never got a chance to study.
Yeah.
And it means, like, that's a trope in Korea, that there are a lot of intelligent people who just never have the chance to afford to go to college, which is something Americans can relate to. Which is fucking weird that didn't make it across in translation. It's like,
apparently you have to watch there's like 2 different English subtitles. There's 2 different options, and if you watch them with the other option, it actually says the real translation, or the more accurate translation.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, fuck me.
I know. Donna's going back and rewatching it with those subtitles.
I kind of want to do the same thing, because I feel like that would help a lot of the dialogue. I mean, there were also a lot of grammatical errors in the subtitles where, like, lines just didn't make sense. And I should have known, maybe I had the wrong subtitles on. When the VIPs are speaking, their lines aren't subtitled because they're speaking English. And it's the same with, like, the front man. And I was like, oh, is there, like, another option? Like, I just want all subtitles.
When I watched it, they were subtitled.
Really?
When they were speaking English, it was subtitled as well, yeah.
So maybe you watched the correct one.
No, we watched the wrong one.
Really?
Yeah, so... Wait,
I don't know.
If you didn't have subtitles... Well, that's weird.
It sounds like all the English ones are bad,
Maybe they're fucked. I don't know.
Well,
or maybe I did watch the correct one. I just didn't realize. I don't fucking know.
I don't know either. It sounds like the prime way to enjoy the show is to speak Korean, and also maybe lobby for a translation work to be a bit more respected.
Right.
What was I going to say? Oh, the cop side story. I like that in the first half of the show.
I thought it was going to be some bullshit, but they actually did really well with it. Like, it was very entertaining.
I loved the little, like, side stories going on in the ship. Like, I thought, so I'm very naive, I guess, because I thought the doctor subplot was going somewhere nice. Like, these guys want to help everyone escape with all the money and everything. And then it's like organ donation. Like they're doing like some black market, like dark shit. I'm like, no, really?
It's like, fuck, bro.
Because I was like, oh, that doctor looks like a real... I don't know. I was like, he's a nice guy there. And he knows the games. Wow, this is going to be great when he teams up with the main character. Oh.
Ooh, we were wrong. There is something, though, in that subplot that they didn't touch on, which is why I think that a second season, especially with how popular it is inevitable at this point. Do you remember the bombs down the ladder? They were
for when the VIPs
need to escape if something happens, and then nothing comes of that.
Yeah. Well, like also the Morse code didn't really like come back up. Like was that just how he discovered the plot?
That was how. Yeah, they were sending Morse code to tell him like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be coming down with us or whatever. Because when he got there, remember, they were like, where have you been? Or like, don't be late again, yada, yada, yada.
Oh,
so 28 was trying to tell 29.
Like, get on board. And then, like, there's all that suspicion. I loved all the undercover stuff. Yeah. And I mean, until the later half of the season. Okay, so let's just touch on the good stuff a little bit more. Tug of War was a great little bit of gameage too.
Yes.
I liked how you really felt like that one could go poorly for them. You know, even though the main characters are all on this one team and a bunch of nobodies are on the other. You're like, how the fuck are they gonna do that?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like an actual way you can win Tug of War, but I bought it. Like I liked their bullshit. Like, lean backwards or whatever, and take 3 steps forward. Like that was awesome.
That was an insane cliffhanger. Like I would have loved if the show was like weekly episodic, because that's a cliffhanger. Just the feet running towards the edge and then it just cuts. It was amazing.
I know it probably would have. I don't know. I don't know if it would have gotten as much traction if it were a weekly one, but like,
true.
I feel like maybe some of the shock of people watching the later half of the season would have been eased down a little bit, because I think by episode 7 you would have known that the show was kind of going in like a new direction. I don't know what I would have done differently. Squid Game's a weird post-mortem. Is there anything else in the first half that we can talk about?
Listen, the first 6 episodes, I can't talk good enough about them. Like
they're great.
They are fucking phenomenal. It's some of the best thriller television.
Well, let's talk more about episode 6 then.
Yeah.
You know, because this is honestly one of my favorite episodes of TV I've ever watched. It was so good. It was so heartbreaking. Ollie, rest in peace, Ollie.
R.I.P.
Mainly,
Ollie.
he was one. Also, rest in peace, that husband and wife. My fucking God.
Jesus.
That was bleak.
That was, because they were just like, we stick together all the time. God.
Shit.
God, I wish they would have showed how they figured that out. You know, we saw a bunch of characters, how they figured out who was going to die and how they played their games and stuff, but not that couple. I would have liked to see that. But he immediately hung himself in the next episode.
Okay, so this is my fucking problem. Is like, so the gangster too, Deok-soo.
Yeah.
You know, he gets by that game by the skin of his teeth, and he's been such a bastard the whole show. I was waiting for the big showdown with him and the main character at some point, or him and one of the main characters. Like even the girl. There was never that moment though. That storyline never paid off. Like he was just a right bastard the whole show, and then I don't know. Let's just jump to episode 7. So, what fucking childhood game did you ever play or has anyone ever played with glass and you're jumping on it, and if you jump on the wrong glass, you fall through the ground, but also at the end of the game, the glass explodes?
I mean, yeah, like, I really liked that game. I thought it was an interesting game. It was very suspenseful, and I liked it. But it doesn't correlate with the rest of the show, like their childhood, child games. And if they had, like from the get-go, we've established that they are simple games and that you probably know them from your childhood. And then all of a sudden we have this fucking shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's cool, but it's totally going against what the last 6 episodes have been about, right? Which is my main problem with it. I think the story beats and everything is there, but just the fact that it exists within this show is kind of dumb.
I do also feel like it was a bit of a stretch to kill off all of the characters they didn't know what the fuck they were gonna do with.
Yeah.
Like in the final game, you know, like all the randos that were still around, obviously, like that was their chance to just like be fucking like killed off at that point. You know, the Duxu and number 101, like they didn't know where that storyline was gonna be headed, so they just like have her sacrifice herself or whatever to bring him down. And I'm like, I don't know, I thought that was going to go to a much more exciting place, and I'm not saying that it needed to have like some dramatic resolution, but it felt kind of weak. Like those characters were good, you know, or I liked her and I liked him, or I liked how much of a bastard he was, and I wanted to see like a proper showdown. It just didn't feel fair anymore, you know. Like all the other games, there were a bit of like unfair elements to it. Like if you were one of those bastards or one of those poor blokes that like actually had to pick the umbrella in like the second game, you know, you were fucked. Or if you picked an all-girls team in tug of war, like you probably weren't gonna like win. But in this one, it just felt like random chance, you know, RNG. And our main character, like, I think that's my biggest problem with him winning it all, is he doesn't do anything to win, you know. He just gets lucky. He picks number 16. Sang-woo takes care of everyone else, really. And then in the final game, Sang-woo takes care of himself, you know? It's like, he wins the fight, sure, but, like, Sang-woo goes...
Yeah, that's the thing, is there's nothing... I feel like all the games were fair, like... Because, I mean, yeah, except for the umbrellas, like, if there were no more of the other shapes, you had to pick another one. But still, like, you know... For the most part, it depends on what you choose. And that fucking glass game, like, if you were first, there's no way.
You were never going to make it.
You were never going to make it. There's no way you could... It would be an act of God that you managed to choose the correct tiles throughout the whole fucking thing.
Which maybe that's why they had, like, the guy who prays, like, go first. What was it, that guy?
It was the guy who, he said he's been last all his life or something like that. He would like to...
Go first
for once in his life, and then he ends up immediately fucking dying.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, so episode 7, while cool, kind of goes against the entire premise of the show, I think.
I think the other aspect of that is the arrival of the VIPs, and it's just like these pretty fucking shitty American actors. Like, they weren't as bad as people online say. Like, there are a lot of people saying like they completely ruined the show.
No, they don't.
They don't. I mean, they're annoying, and also I don't really think that they paid off this season. Like, it seemed like there was a weird use of them, and then they were gone. It's like I don't really get why they were here, other than to, you know, show that the rich are like taking pleasure from this game. Even you know, it's like, oh, the rich always benefit from the poor's like misfortune or whatever.
Well, I do have to say, I think half of the acting for the Americans is the shitty fucking dialogue that they were given. Like, I don't know if it's a translation error or if they really just wanted to be campy with the dialogue, but their dialogue was just dog shit.
Number 69.
Yeah.
That's a number for sure that I would bet on.
A fucking 69 joke. Like, that's what I'm like. That's what was so irreprehensible to me, is that their dialogue just like, I don't really think that they were bad actors per se, but they were also, because they were wearing masks and they were saying really bad dialogue. So I think really it was in the writing for that one. But also introducing the VIPs in general is just kind of weird. That seems like a season 2 thing to do or something.
Yeah, I mean, they were mysterious and they were set up with that whole like, oh, it's when the VIPs leave, and at that point you're like, who are they? Yeah, and I mean, he's been answering the phone in English all season long, so you can expect some like bullshit like that. But like, I would have liked for there to be more purpose for them to have shown up, like at least resolve their storylines. I mean, fucking one of them gets like kidnapped and beaten and interrogated, which I think my big theory, and I was talking about this with Michaela. Michaela, if you're listening, I'm talking about our talk. We don't think the cop died. Like when he went over the cliff. I mean, the proof is there with the old man. If you don't see it happen firsthand,
exactly,
it probably didn't happen.
Exactly.
And I mean, yeah. Like, he's probably fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think he has to come back, or else that will have been a whole waste. And I mean, without it, like, why does it matter that it was his brother under the mask,
exactly,
you know?
Yeah.
And also, what is the deal with that? Like, I feel like that could have been I don't know. I wasn't satisfied with that reveal. Mm-hmm. I wasn't satisfied with most of the, like, crazy reveals. I mean, especially when we get to that last episode and we find out that the old guy is still alive and he ran the games. Like, it's pretty weak. I don't know. Like, I think it worked better when he was dead, and I don't think you needed him to be the, like, overseer of it all. I mean, it's kind of cool because he and our protagonist probably formed the closest bond of anyone in there, but, like, at the same time, like, it kind of cheapens everything that involves that character. Like, if I were to go back and rewatch it, now I'd be, like, rolling my eyes at all the scenes that they're trying to have you, like, take pity on him, like, oh, the fake dementia or whatever. And it's like, it's not even in a satisfying, like, villainous, like, cool way. His reasoning is like, I liked playing games as a kid. I got bored. And there's, like, that half-assed, like, Joker moment. Like, let's see if anyone helps that man by midnight. Do you still have faith in society now? Gi-hung?
It's true. It was a Joker moment.
It's like, what? The clock's ticking, Batman.
Is anybody going to save that poor man, Batman?
Riddle me this. Batman. A drunk goes to sleep on a street. Does anyone help him? No! It's all part of the plan. Trust anyone now? It's like, of course he doesn't trust anyone because he was, like, fucking kidnapped and taken to this fucking bullshit game where there's exploding glass and whatnot. Also, you gave them all knives at night. Well, I did like that aspect of the show where they, like, are shanking each other in between.
Okay.
Oh, here's the most bullshit death. You want to talk?
Yeah.
Fucking... We've got the room. We've got our 3 beds. And Sangwoo's all the way over there. Number 67's all the way over here. And you're telling me that when Gi-hung goes to the door and he's like, ding, 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 hey, help her out. She's, like, bleeding. What motherfucker is gonna just, like, creep over there without number 67 going, hey, he's coming over there to shank me. And his footsteps aren't going to be heard the whole time he's traveling. And then when she dies, there's not going to be any noise. I mean, homie just, like, found the exact right way to stab this girl.
I mean, she had already passed out. I thought she had already fucking died. Like, they didn't even have to do that. Like, I think it was
she could have just died.
I think it was really just to show that Sangwoo was like, oh, he's irredeemable. Like, look. But then he is. I
don't like that they went so far with it. You know, like, you can tell they're going that direction when in, like, the 7th episode he pushes the guy who can see the glass.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, there's no way that guy was fucking sticking around. He was nobody, and he had never been featured prominently on the show before then. He's like, yes. I can see.
Yeah.
Which, that wasn't fair either. Mm-mm. They turn off the fucking lights. It's like...
Yeah, that's not fair. Like,
yeah, like, homie, like, that's just his profession. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you knew this when you made a glass game. Like, that the one fucker that you found who used to be, like, a glass maker could cheese it.
That,
This is his moment. Like, he's not a gangster. He was never going to make it in those other games. Like, give it to him. Okay, sorry, Ollie. You're not the most heartbreaking death. Glass guy in episode 7.
Glass guy.
That's the most upsetting Sangwoo death for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Speaking of, I would have liked it. I propose an alternate ending where they all didn't fucking die during the glass game, and in fact our main characters lived, and then they all played the Squid game. Because in the very first episode, the very first scene, there's like 7 kids playing Squid game.
It clearly requires a lot of people.
Exactly. But then you just have, you know, our main character and Sangwoo playing, and it's like, okay,
they don't even really play Squid game. They just, like,
they just kill each other.
Stab each, yeah.
But it would have been more climactic climactic, right? And we would have gotten that awesome character moment with the girl and the evil dude.
Doksu,
Doksu, sorry, I can't remember their names, but they could have had it out, and then Sangwoo and the other and main character could have had it out. I don't know, man. Missed opportunity.
I definitely think in the perfect world, our main character, he redeems himself by sacrificing himself for number 67 to win the game, to get her brother, take care of her brother and, like, her family. And then she made a promise, like, I'll take care of your family. And, that would have been a bit more satisfying for the daughter to be like, well, I know this girl is, like, approaches the daughter and she's all like, who are you? He's like, I knew your dad. And he's like, I don't like my dad. He's an asshole. And she could have been like, no, your father was selfless. Mm-hmm. He gave his life for me. And, he's one of the finest and bravest people. Or I don't know, do some Harry Potter shit like that. And be like, and that's why your name is Severus Gihung Albus Dumbledore. Magneto.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I always was hoping that she would win, even though I figured that the main character would probably win. I don't think that a battle royale show like this before has ever, like, committed to everyone except one person being killed off, which I kind of commend it for that too. But at the same time, the way it happened was a bit of a stretch. Like in Hunger Games, they cut it off with Peeta and Katniss. In fucking Battle Royale, there's actually like 3 people left. Even in like one of my favorite video game series, in Twitter will think this is kind of cringe, but Danganronpa, that's like a Battle Royale, like, Japanese game series, and in every one of those games, like, at least like 4 or 5 kids like make it out of there, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. But this one actually had the balls to be like, okay, everyone's dead. I don't know, and I like that kind of on paper, but like in execution, I was like, it's not all that satisfying.
Yeah, it's not as fulfilling.
So I thought with like the last episode, it's kind of weird that like all the Squid Game shit wrapped up within like the first 15 minutes, and then we just have like this fucking strange epilogue. Yeah. And it's like not even, I don't know, it's not very compelling either. Like for such a binge-worthy series, it got kind of boring really quickly. Like he's just not spending the money, and like I get like there's reasons that he's not doing it, like character reasons, but it just felt all like an attempt to make this shock reveal of the old man being behind the games like play into it, and for them to really like bash you on the head with like this like never give up on like people theme, which is never what I thought it was about.
but the show has its thesis is that pretty much you should give up on people, right? All battle royale games are about human nature at its worst. Like that's clearly what the show is telling us, and then I think the final episode, it's like, but hey, don't give up on them. You just watched 467 people murder each other. Don't give up on them.
It's so contradictory, actually, because in 465, you fuckhead. Come on.
It's not 467?
465. That's what our main guy wears on his...
456.
450.
We're both wrong.
Oh,
fuck,
shit.
We fucked ourselves.
Oh, my God. Fake fans. I'm sorry, Casey, for calling you a fuckhead when I was also a fuckhead.
We were both fuckheads. It's fine.
Okay, wait, what was I saying?
You're saying it's so contradictory.
Oh, okay. It's very contradictory because, like, the front man kills that doctor and all those guys because he's like, this is their one place that everything can be fair. And it's like, clearly no one was interested in, like, fairness when designing any of this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, you're so fucking weird for even saying that. And then also, he's all like, oh, don't trust people. It's like, you contrived all of the situations for people to fucking screw each other over. Like, you knew they would start killing each other, and you, like, had strobe lights installed in your facility to make it, like, all the more, like, terrible.
Can I just say that sequence was so fucking annoying. There was no fucking photosensitive, like, or seizure warning for that episode.
No, yeah.
And that was awful. You are not supposed to continue a scene on for that fucking long. We had to, like, I closed my eyes. I had to look away. I missed most of the killing, but because that was just fucking
Well, it was so hard
annoying.
to fucking tell what was happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, I didn't enjoy the way they filmed that at all. And they didn't need to film it that way. It was like when they filmed that fucking battle scene in Game of Thrones and it's, like, pitch black and you can't fucking tell like this is the culmination of like that show.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's Game of Thrones spoilers again. We always come back here, but like. This is the fucking culmination of like 8 seasons, and you can't fucking tell what's going on.
Right?
Like, is our character alive? Like,
yeah,
it just looks like a dark room to me.
Exactly. It's like the TV go off.
I didn't like the strobe light in that scene. I do like the idea of that scene though.
Yeah, I do like it.
And I like especially that they like have to barricade from that point on and always be aware of that. But yeah, what I'm saying is like he's like, don't trust people. You know, you should give up on them. But like you contrived everything in that situation so that they wouldn't trust each other. You didn't make anything fair. So like you walk away from the show and being like, what's the point if it's like not a criticism of like capitalism and it's not, and it's like actually trying to be like people are inherently good actually. Like I don't know, like
maybe.
Well, it feels like they're trying to make the old man look foolish. Like, you know, he's like, you know, I'm rich and I'm just bored with life. And, you know, you have too little money. And so that makes us similar because we don't know what to do with ourselves. And then he's like, also don't trust people. But it's like, that's so clearly foolish because everyone had each other's backs except for when the game made people turn against each other.
Yeah.
And like even with the really over the top Joker drunk guy laying in the snow situation, like that I mean, I don't know, like why shouldn't people like maybe help him or like steal his wallet? I mean, both are equally likely to happen. I think that's just like part of being a human is, you know, like depending on who you meet, like you're either gonna get your wallet taken or someone's gonna donate you like $5 because you look homeless. You know, like that's just human nature. Some people are bad, some people are good, and this whole black and white bullshit, it just comes out of left field, and it doesn't seem cohesive at all with the rest of the show because the rest of it's so gray, right?
Maybe the point was that they're trying to, like, you know, everybody's dealt nearly the same hand in life. They're like, hey, everybody has a fair chance at getting rich, and then the show as the games get unfair, it's sort of like, hey, but look there, and like the game keepers or whatever, the game people are like, it is fair, but then the players are like, actually this is not fucking fair. I picked number one, or this person picked number one, and they were the first to fucking die. Like there was no way they were gonna get across that. Maybe that's it, but I don't think they thought too hard about that.
Yeah.
But
I thought it might be a criticism of, like, the westernization of Korea. I mean, especially with, like, bringing Americans in by the end of the show. Because a lot of criticism we get in the U.S. is our fuckery, like, with the rest of the world. And we fucked with Korea hard. I mean, after the war, we were like, okay, yeah, the South Korean government will be modeled after us because we don't want them to be fucking commies. Right. And, I mean, clearly the show has a beef with capitalism. It's like, some people are fucking everything stacked against them. They never stood a chance. Like, you know, and what other option do they have other than to play children's games to win billions of won?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, how many people Googled a won conversion? I did it.
Yeah, I definitely did. It went up to, it was 450 million in US dollars is basically what they won.
Really?
Yeah, so like
I thought it was only like 4 million.
Oh no, God no.
Yeah.
There's 450 something. Oh, maybe it was. Oh, I'm sorry.
It was like 450 billion.
Yeah.
Won.
So it was. Okay.
Let's see again. Let's see what the Squid Game prize is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 380 million. My bad.
Okay, yeah. So basically $1 billion. Obviously not to the exact T, but about $1 billion won is almost $1 million US dollars.
Yeah.
So that's how you can look at that. So.
Well, great. Would you do it all for the Squid Game prize? That's something I want to know.
I would not. Listeners. I would not go through that for $350 million. There's a very slim chance. You have a 1 in 450.
I think I have a better chance of like taking out a Powerball ticket and winning that. Yeah. Like I wouldn't gamble my life on that shit. But then again, we're also very
we're not like homeless or anything.
We can afford to pay for podcast hosting, you know, like we've got money to spare.
Right, yeah. We wouldn't be the targets for perhaps a Squid Game, you know.
No, but Okay, here's another online debate occurring right now. Would you let that hot Korean businessman slap you in the face?
No, I would not. That's so demeaning. I would not do that.
No,
shit.
I wouldn't. No, me neither.
That game's hard too, bro.
Ooh.
I have to flip over the fucking things. Are we about to end this with another round of blackjack?
We're about to end this with another round of blackjack.
Let's fucking go.
Okay, and this time, I get to give. Wait, the winner gets to give the loser a little slap on the wrist.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. And while I'm setting this up, viewers, please do tell me, like, who was your favorite Squid Game character? Would you play the Squid Games? And also, was it all bullshit? Was it? I don't know. Would you recommend it? Also, Casey, what would you give this series out of 10?
An 8.
I think I'd give it an 8 too, because I enjoyed it a lot more than I did enjoy it. In fact, I would say this is probably my favorite show I've watched this year.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah, I hope that more shows like it succeed.
Yeah, same. Actually, I cannot say that. I'm so sorry. I know this is. I know, guys. I'm not a real cinema person. Loki has been my favorite.
Really?
Series. Yeah, if we're looking at it like that, I like Loki a little bit better than. Well, actually, no. I would still say Squid Game. I feel like I got way more excitement and enjoyment out of Squid Game than Loki.
I would also say it's a lot better made. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I feel like
I just remember being like really into Loki. You know?
Yeah, Loki was good.
Loki was good. I think Squid Game's the best show.
Loki was a pretty solid contender, though. I mean, Loki's great. Hey, did you see the new episode of What If?
I haven't been watching What If.
Oh, okay. It's pretty cool. They
pretty cool?
do some redemption stuff for like a character that got kind of short shrift in the movies, and it might actually affect shit at large. Anyway, Casey's got a 3 showing.
Okay.
I've got a king showing. Remember, the prize is a slap on the wrist to the loser. Okay.
Can I look or do I hit
Yeah,
first?
of course you get to look.
Okay. Yeah, hit me.
Do you bust?
Yeah, I busted.
Damn. House wins with 10. Do you want to try being the dealer?
What does that mean?
Oh, 10.
10.
So 13, 23. You busted 23.
I did busted. Okay, there you go. Okay.
For $1.
For $1? Okay.
For $1. Okay.
Let's go. This is
we'll count you as the house this time, okay?
Okay.
So you'll get to determine everything. Okay. So shit, you got a 6 showing. Hit me.
Stay?
Yeah. So you have to reveal. Okay, so you got to hit until you're over 17.
Until I'm over 17? Oh, okay, I got you.
Damn.
So what is that?
That's 22. I win at 20.
What the fuck?
And you want to slap on the wrist instead?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I don't want your $1.
All right.
I don't want your $1. Well, anyway, you heard it here first, folks. I rigged this deck so I would win every time. And also, please, wait, what?
I was going to be like, oh my god, he really did, looking at the cards now.
And also, if you run the casino that one guy goes to, please let us know which casino we should avoid. Because I never want a gun pulled on me. I'm good at blackjack.
Yes. Well, guys, we'll see you next week for another Squid Game.